Ladies and gentlemen, it's time we have a talk about the fall of Jimmie Johnson, arguably the greatest NASCAR driver, or race car driver, frankly, of all time. 7 Cup Series titles, 3 Daytona 500 championships, 83 wins over 20 years, widely considered to be the greatest NASCAR driver of all time. How has he fallen so far to the point where he might not make the playoffs? There are rookies making the playoffs over Jimmie Johnson this year. This year was supposed to be him going out on top. And how has he fallen so far down the podium that this is where we're at now? That's what we're going to be discussing today. If you enjoy the video, make sure you like and subscribe. No orange juice video today, I don't think. I don't want to overload you guys with content, but I really wanted to make this video, so I'm doing this instead. So yeah, comment down below your thoughts. I'm not a Jimmie Johnson hater. I love Jimmie Johnson. I'm not happy that this is how it's gone. I feel bad for Jimmie Johnson because he's gotten also really, really unlucky. And he's a great guy. He's done nothing wrong. He's just fallen, and I think that's kind of, indisputable. And so we're here today to talk about that. But before we talk about the fall, we must talk about the rise. Jimmie's first full season in the Cup Series was 2002 with Hendrick Motorsports. He stayed there for his entire tenure of his career. Now, one thing that you got to keep in mind here is that NASCAR isn't the way that it used to be. NASCAR used to be, there would be rookies that would show up and show out. They would just be good right off the bat. That's not really a thing anymore. Cole Custer won a race in his rookie season a couple weeks ago, and that's completely unheard of for a NASCAR driver these days. So you got to keep that in mind when I tell you that the first 4 seasons of his career, his first 4 full seasons, he did not finish outside the top 10 points. Now that's crazy. That's quite the accomplishment in itself. That even in his rookie year, he finished 5th in points. Now, then we get into the real meat of the story here. 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. 5 back-to-back championships for Jimmie Johnson. Incredible. The only time that feat has ever been accomplished in NASCAR, and probably the only time it will for a long time to come. Jimmie Johnson, right there, that alone would have cemented him as one of the greatest drivers of all time. I know I have a lot of subscribers that are into F1 and that type of thing. So basically, he was the Lewis Hamilton of NASCAR for those 5 years. He was incredible. He was on the top of his game. Him and Chad Knaus were just locked in. Chad Knaus was his crew chief, and they would win. Week in, week out, they would just win and win. And that was expected. It's like the Patriots. Like, it's fun for a little bit, and then they start winning every single week, and it gets annoying. They were the Patriots. They were the Warriors. They were Lewis Hamilton. They were, I don't know, Game 6 Clay. I don't know. They were just on. Week in, week out. 5 championships in a row for Jimmie Johnson. Right there. 2006 to 2010. Just to get a good frame of mind here for how dominant he was and for how good he was. In 2002, his rookie season, before I was even born, and he's still around today, this is what he did. He won pole for the Daytona 500 as a rookie. That's phenomenal. He swept both Dover races, and he ended up 5th in points with 4 poles and 3 wins in his rookie season. Okay, that right there, insane. Cole Custer is, he's like a huge deal because he won 1 time in his rookie season, and Jimmie finished 5th in points and did all that. That's just incredible to me. That actually blows my mind. And that was before the 5 championships. Now, after the 5 championships, Hendrick Motorsports and Jimmie Johnson were absolutely thriving. The iconic Lowe's 48 car, along with Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., would all be firing on all cylinders going forward. Now, Tony Stewart would win in 2011. As Jimmie had a tough year, the championship streak would come to an end. Now, in 2012, Jimmie Johnson would finish third in the Drivers' Championship. 2013, he would win yet again and take his 6th championship. Now, 2014 was an absolutely terrible year for Jimmie Johnson. Just the worst. Absolutely devastating here. If you don't know what happened, it's just so sad. He actually finished 11th in points. I know. So sad. Alexa, please play Despacito. And yes, so 13 years, or 12 years maybe, I'm not good at math, into his career, he finished outside of the 10th place for the first time. Now, that was a joke, obviously, about him being terrible, but 11th place, and that's considered a bad year. Like, that's pretty incredible. But it also goes to show kind of what's to come here. Now, he did not win in 2015. He finished 10th in the final standings. And then Jeff Gordon would retire, and this would kind of begin the end of an era in Hendrick Motorsports. Jimmie Jr. would be out soon. And yeah, it was just really turning over a new leaf. It was written on the table for Jimmie Johnson. People didn't know how much time he had left in him here. He seemed to be on a bit of a downward slope. Now, in 2016, he would come back with a bang and win his 7th championship and really cement his legacy, tying Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt for the most championships ever taken by a NASCAR driver. Now, that is a huge feat. Some would say Richard Petty is the definitive best because he has 200 wins, but he also raced in a long time ago. Like, it's kind of like Wilt Chamberlain, if you know who that is. Wilt Chamberlain was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He scored 100 points in a game. However, he scored 100 points in a game against a bunch of scrubs. Like, it's kind of like that. That's what I kind of think of Richard Petty as. Obviously, Richard Petty is still one of the greatest of all times, as is Wilt. But I feel like Jimmie Johnson's 7 championships are much more impressive compared to Richard Petty's 7 championships because the competition is just tougher. That's just the way it is. Now we get into what I would call the decline of Jimmie Johnson. Now in 2017, he would have his last win to date and finish 10th in the final standings. Now, 2018 is where things kind of go up in the air, some would say. Now, this is where Jimmie Johnson becomes slightly unrecognizable, I would say, actually. Lowe's is gone. Ally steps in to be his new sponsor. Now Ally, it's kind of a big deal now because it's just Jimmie Johnson, but really Jimmie Johnson hasn't done anything very special with the Ally car. He hasn't even brought it to victory lane, I don't think. And then, sadly, Chad Knaus would leave the 48 car, and some would say that that's kind of the nail in the coffin right there. The writing is on the wall for things to start going downhill. It would end a 17-year partnership, and yeah, and also another notable thing is that he would do a driver swap with F1 driver Fernando Alonso. So that's kind of cool. That will also bring about some things to come in the future here with his possible debut in IndyCar next year. Now, I personally would love to see Jimmie Johnson in F1, but that doesn't seem likely, so that's quite unfortunate. I'm a big F1 guy. I would love to see Jimmie in F1, but looks like IndyCar. Now, in 2019, things things didn't get as they were really supposed to. Now, 2020, this is where we really get into what I'd like to talk about today. 2020 was supposed to be the big bang for Jimmie Johnson. This was supposed to be his retirement tour, the go-home tour, the final huge third act in the movie of Jimmie Johnson's career. It was supposed to be the grand finale where Jimmie Johnson could come out on stage and take a bow. Now that has been derailed in more ways than literally you could count. Let's think back to the season. Now, if we remember back to the season, we got some incredible moments with Jimmie Johnson at the beginning of the season. Some ceremonies, stuff like that, honoring Jimmie Johnson and paying homage to probably the greatest driver of all time. It was just wonderful to see, and everything looked like it could be okay. And then COVID happened, and COVID ruins everything, as you will come to learn if you're on this earth. Welcome to Earth, third rock from the sun. So, basically, it was supposed to be the fans thanking Jimmie Johnson and Jimmie Johnson turning around and thanking the fans back. It was going to be awesome. It was going to be emotional, and it was going to be a great, great send-off regardless of his performance on the track. Then we were off for 3 months, and we came back with no fans. And now we're to some fans, but still very few. And it's really a spoiled homecoming for Jimmie Johnson here. Just so sad with what was to come here. Everything looked like it was coming up Jimmie Johnson going into season 2020, and then it all just fell apart. So let's take a look here at the 2020 results for Jimmie Johnson. So in the Daytona 500, he crashed. He got 35th place. Las Vegas, he finished 5th, so that was a bright spot. Auto Club 7th. Phoenix 12th. Darlington 38th, and that was, in my opinion, the lowest point of his season. With the last lap of stage 1, he was in the lead, and he made a complete buffoon move and just tried to cut off a lapped car in Ricky Stenhouse and just dumped himself. He straight up dumped himself. Why? He had a chance to win that race, and he just made a complete bonehead maneuver. Just not a great day. Then again at Darlington. Now keep in mind that those 2 Darlington races are the first ones back from COVID. So the second Darlington race, he finished 8th. Charlotte 40th. That he got disqualified in that race. I forgot about that. He actually finished about 2nd or 3rd, I believe, and then got DQ'd after the race. So that was a big embarrassment there for him. Then next race at Charlotte, he finished 11th. At Bristol, he finished 3rd. That's another bright spot. Atlanta 7th. Martinsville 10th. Homestead 16th. Talladega 13th. Pocono 21st. Pocono again 16th. Kentucky 18th. Texas, he finished 26th. And then Kansas, he finished 32nd. Now, he is currently sitting at 18th in points, I believe. Either 18 points out of the playoffs, I believe. So, as of now, Jimmie Johnson would not be making the playoffs. And this is not the farewell tour that many people were looking for in Jimmie Johnson's career here. This is not Jimmie Johnson. What has happened here? It's just it's so disappointing to see one of the legends of the sport just go out like this. And I really hope he redeems himself. I really do. He could turn it around from this point on. He could win 2 races. If he wins 2 races, he could still technically win the title. Will it happen? Probably not. But I would love to see Jimmie Johnson get one more win before he goes out. I think he's got it in him. And he's just had such a string of bad luck. I really do, though. I really think that Jimmie Johnson has a chance here to get one more win and go out on top. I would love to see it. I'm sure you guys would love to see it. And so that's going to wrap up our little analysis of Jimmie Johnson there. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. Maybe I'll do other drivers as well at some point. I've been thinking about that. So yeah, if you would let me know what other drivers you would want to see, that would be phenomenal. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great and blessed day. God be with you. He's always watching over you guys, so there's that for you. And always stay safe. This has been Decaf Dr. Thunder, and I'll see you guys next time.